Hey, you right guys, Trish Munch's Joe, and today we're watching and reacting to episode 6 of One Tree Hill Season 2. We're in the new place now. The back probably doesn't look that different, to be fair, it was pretty much the same, but we're in the new place now, which is great. And I thought, what should be the first video I film in the new place? And I mean, spoiler alert, it was One Tree Hill. I'm starting with One Tree Hill because it's the best show of all time. It's not the best show of all time, but it is one of the most fun shows that I've reacted to at the moment. And even though season 2's had, you know, rocky moments for sure, it still kept that of like enjoyability for me, and just, you know, wholesome moments with Nathan and Hayley, and still good story moments, even though some have been better than others. But yeah, I'm excited to continue with season 2, episode 6, guys. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like. If you're new, remember to subscribe, and if you do want the early and uncut reactions to One Tree Hill, then link to the Patreon page will be in the description and one of the comments down below. As of recording this, YouTube are literally on episode 10, so quite far behind. So by the time this one's on YouTube, honestly, Patreon are probably towards the end of season 2, if not at the end of season 2. But for now, let's do this.
But human life is almost pure chaos.
You know how Lucas knows all these, like, literature and all that shite, and poets? I've never seen him read a book. Maybe, like, in the first step.
I'm just looking out for you.
Can we just go?
Sure. As soon as you discover pants. You know why? Because first impressions are important, Anna.
Right.
And yours says abierto all night.
I saw you in '87 against Williamsburg. You put up, what, 35 points?
37.
37.
How am I supposed to pass a stress test with some orderly reminding me my best days are behind me?
I feel like the old Dan's kind of emerging a bit more.
I'm auditioning bands for a local talent night.
All ages night. Tell you what, you can post it if you take your shirt off.
Is that a joke?
Excuse me?
Emo's crap. Gives punk a bad
Oh.
You think?
I do.
Yeah, I thought we had another knob.
You know, it's real punk to be up at 7 a.m. doing inventory.
I never went to sleep.
Yeah, what a cool guy. Can this not be a character? Can we stop introducing characters that are shit?
Keith, you know the guy who took you on that drive?
The music's kicked in. That's the I remember music.
The reason I'm calling is the,
Well, the guy who helped me was nice and kind of cute, but he waited a whole week to tell me, and when he did, he came up with some lame excuse about a survey.
maybe over dinner tomorrow night?
Smooth,
Maybe if
kinda.
he comes to my place and cooks for me.
Okay.
You don't even know where she lives. What do you mean, just hung up?
Lucas, do you know how my wife died? In surgery. Like 20,000 other people a year, and I don't plan to be one of them.
Look, Coach.
No, you look. We are not in season. There's
Jeez.
no practice. Now, I want you to turn around and get out of my office and mind your own damn business.
It's just going to be the ep where Coach is a knob for the entire ep, and then at the end he's like, okay. And then he puts his hand on one of their shoulders and goes, I will have the surgery.
in its orbit of the sun.
Is that Tim with a piercing? It looks like Tim's twin.
My brother's kind of overprotective because we haven't gone to the same school in a few years.
Wait, Felix is your brother?
Yep, there it is.
That's a decaf latte with 1 shot of Irish cream.
With about $100 in, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of rich. Ooh. What the fuck?
Stars. Stellar bodies collide.
Oh, it's happening. It's
Okay,
happening.
here's the thing. We are not dating, we are not going out, we are nothing. I am not your wife, your shrink, your mommy. There's no romance, no crappy poetry, no PDA, and no spooning. And in fact, we don't even need to talk.
Fair enough.
Great.
Fair enough. I mean, that converts to I don't like you as a person, but I want you knob. So, yeah. Go for it.
I mean, what I wouldn't give 3 months in Florida playing basketball at that camp.
Is it 3 months?
Yeah, I think so. Why?
3 months.
That's all summer. I mean,
We can't have no Nathan for 3 months.
We couldn't have done it without you, so I just thought you'd care to know.
the mistake you're making is you think I care about you, about the
Right.
team,
He's trying to push everyone
about
away.
anything.
Classic.
I lost the only thing I cared about a long time ago.
We know, man. It's like the only thing that comes out your mouth every scene you have.
Have the surgery.
I do like Whitey, I do, but I do feel like the show doesn't really know what to do with him. It's like they have him as a character and they just kind of throw him in every now and then to be like, I lost my wife, I'm going to shout at you, and then at the end of the episode he comes around and is like, oh, I do care about you all actually.
didn't recognize the address.
For fuck's sake, it's a little bit odd.
There's a price tag on it. $150.
Well, it's a misprint. The one should be a 4.
$450.
Jesus, just like that. God, vultures.
Smells good in there.
Yes, Keith.
Oh,
On
brought
his
some wine.
date. Oh my god. What was that? Yo, that sounded like a cat dying.
Nothing in MP3.
Of Haley.
Oh, it's a virus. You don't want it.
A virus. Oh, this knob.
Store guy.
I don't know if you.
All right, well, you're gonna open.
Yeah,
No,
great.
I'm not. I have major stage fright.
You learned an entire cheer.
Is he gonna start singing and they're like,
You rocked the
oh
house.
my god,
I
a
cannot do it
king,
by
a
myself.
punk
No,
king.
You have to find someone else. I'm sorry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yep, yep. And now Peyton's gonna fall in love with the punk kid. Yo, Hayden's buzzing.
You're great.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he knows, he knows.
I don't need him, Haley. I've got you.
Haley is better, I will back that. I will back Haley over him.
So I thought you said we were going to watch the meteor shower from your yard.
Why is he dressed like that?
Actually, this is my yard.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I am actually that rich, Karen. I have money in my earlobes.
My house is about half a mile up that way.
And my house is actually a mansion. I said house to seem more down to earth, but it is actually a mansion.
My dad died when I was 14.
Tragic backstory.
You sure you're okay with this whole friends with benefits thing?
Why wouldn't I be?
It's been 5 minutes, mate. That's not trying to get deep.
No. Unable to hook up without the emotional entanglements.
Try having your
Classic
boyfriend
Felix.
hook up with your best friend and see if that's not tangled enough for you.
I mentioned that it's friends with benefits.
You know what? No one cares, man.
The only advantage is that you live 30 seconds away.
I don't know why he's acting all hurt, like he hasn't been a knob to everyone else.
Close the door on your way out.
I'm just gonna like you more. I don't want to sneak around.
The Lucas laugh.
You gotta talk to Felix.
You've been sneaking around for like a day. It's not that deep. I don't know why Felix needs to know. Does it matter? You're not mates with Felix.
Well, being a good guy has its own rewards.
Yeah, I like these two. I like these two. These two are kind of cool. I want them to work out. Let's do it. They're not gonna. It's 9 seasons long. But
Yeah, about camp.
I'm not going.
I didn't get in.
What?
What do you mean? They said it was a sure thing.
Yeah, I know, but it turns out they made a mistake, and there's some other kid they have to give the spot to.
He's lying. He's lying. He don't want to leave Haley for 3 months.
But hey, since I can't go to this camp, that means you can start playing your music now. Tell me that you will.
I kind of love him for it, but I'm kind of annoyed because it's like these hands have touched so much money you don't even understand how much money they've touched.
He's protecting his wife right there. You see the figure of a woman?
Like me. Like Dan, I'm the protector of everyone.
I throw overnight bags in the car, just in case.
Of course you did. Of course you did, Dan. He's seeing, yeah, of course he is. For fuck's sake.
It's the doctor.
He says I've only got 1 week to live.
Best cut.
Remarried. Here we go.
Just received your test results back from the lab. You're doing really well, and we can now start talking about a more strenuous exercise.
He's gonna lie.
I see.
So call my office and set up an appointment.
Thank you, doctor. I will. Thank you.
He's gonna lie to her.
It's not good.
Oh
I'm gonna have
my
to stay with you for a while.
god, he's such a knob. We knew this. We knew this.
Wanna help me with this table?
So Haley told me you didn't get in the high flyers after all. Tough break.
Yeah, it's too bad.
You did get in.
She's ready to give it a shot. So if I go to camp now for 3 months, who knows where her head's gonna be?
Yeah, I kind of love that he's doing it just because he feels like Haley is ready.
She deserves it.
Oh, I love it.
I already know my future. It's with Haley.
Oh. God, I love him. And Haley as well.
I guess we'll be partying together too.
No. No. No.
So I got the address off the woman's check, and I bought it back.
Oh, mad. Your mouth, my boy! What a king.
You're saying he's not going to the camp? You told me you could make this happen.
He doesn't want to be
Oh.
with his wife.
Oh.
Sorry.
It was settled. Yo, this show's just twisting and turning. Alright, there we go, guys. That is episode 6 of One Tree Hill, season 2. Very, very good episode. I feel like the season's starting to slowly pick up the pace a little bit more. It did. Again, I wouldn't even say it got off to a rocky start because it wasn't bad at any point, and it just speaks to how good this show is it wasn't bad. There was just some decisions they made early on in the season that I wasn't happy about, and there still is a couple of things like Felix. But even Felix being there, it makes sense for the story and what they're doing with Brooke, and you know, him having a sister which Luke is dating, so it adds for the drama. So fair enough, I guess. We'll start with Brooke, her kind of having not the friends part but with just the benefits part with Felix. I'm not complaining about that. I don't care for her trying to get to know him, and again, I would have felt a little bit guilty for him if he wasn't such a knob, but he is. Like, if he had a couple of moments where he was a knob and then he kind of wasn't, then fair enough. But it's every line of dialogue he said, I'm just like, shut up, shut up. It's just like over and over, so I don't feel bad for him. I don't want her to be friends with him. And I hope they just keep it as it is. Like, that's that. I'm sure he'll be a little bit mad at Lucas in the next step because he's kissing his sister or whatever, and then he'll probably think that his sister is his property because, you know, he seems like the type to think that. So that'll be fun, I'm sure. But yeah, Brooke was good. I'm more invested in the story of her kind of losing all of her money and having to sell everything, and then Mouth buying the dollhouse back at the end. He's so wholesome. I wonder how much that cost her, because the woman who bought it upped it from 150 to 450 like that. So it's clearly something she wanted. So I doubt she would have sold it for 450. So Mouth, I reckon, would have had to go for like 800, maybe 1,000 to get it back. Like an offer she can't refuse. And I'm just like, is Mouth kind of rich? Maybe. Maybe he is, but that was a wholesome moment. I really love Mouth, and I'm even scared for the moment where Nathan and Haley will potentially break up just because it is such a long show. But we shall see. Just Nathan and Haley we might as well go to. I really, really love what they're doing with them too this season. I was obviously a little bit cautious because them jumping into the whole marriage thing I thought was a mistake. But around Ep 2, as I said, I'm on board with it. I think they've actually, I feel like maybe they knew it was a bit of a mistake to jump that at the end of season 1, but they made it work. I feel like they really have made it work with what they had this season 2. Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. Like Nathan dropping that potential to go on and succeed in his career just to be there for Haley, knowing that she's ready to start her journey instead. I love him. His development since like this time last season is so good. I know that's nothing new at the moment because every episode I feel like I'm saying how much I love Nathan and Haley, but he's just such a good character. And when he was like, oh, what was it Lucas said, was like, oh, but this could be your future, and he's like, I know my future is with Haley. Oh. He has a way with words, that one. So yep, Nathan and Haley were really good. Peyton was decent. She's setting up a club, and that guy who gave her drugs was it not last episode but the episode before, he's back, so I'm sure she's gonna get into drugs, which will be a storyline. Felix was fine. I liked Lucas and Anna. I think they do actually have chemistry. I'm here for it. I need a bit more of them for sure, but I really like her. She's good. Same with Keith, and I don't know her name, but Keith's romance is pretty basic. It's like, you know, oh, we showed her around, they both had a crush on each other, they went for dinner, and then they kissed. That's really the point of it so far. But I like it. It's fine. I don't need much more with that with Keith. I like, as long as he's happy and not with Karen, then I'm happy. Then we had Dan and Deb. Dan obviously lying about his recovery, progression, and basically forcing himself to be with Deb, or forcing Deb to have to look after him for even longer, which is ridiculous. Like I said, old Dan is back, of course, which I think's a good thing, but also an annoying thing. I don't care for the character. That was probably the weakest part of the episode for me, was Karen's I just don't care about this professor guy. I really, really don't. I don't find him interesting. I don't find Karen that interesting. And I've had a couple of comments on Patreon saying like, I really hope you give Karen more of a chance because she is like a really good character. And I am open to that. I think like Nathan was a knob in at the start of season 1 and he developed so well and he's the best character now. Karen, ever since she kind of like hit Lucas, I don't feel like she's done much to really like. When I really, really try to think about it, I can't think of one moment where I'm like, oh, that was a really great Karen moment. If you're getting rid of everything before she left for Italy. Everything before she left for Italy was great. Like, she was really good. And then she came back, she was a bit boring. Then she hit Lucas and I went way off her. And since then, she's done nothing apart from this story. She just, like, had back and forth with her and Larry, her and Keith, and now she's in a new romance with this character who's also boring. So, I'm open to it, but she hasn't done anything to impress me with her stories at the moment. And I'm not that bothered, to be honest. I'm not like, yeah, I really need Karen to be great. It'd be nice, but... Oh, and another weak part, I'd say, was Coach Whitey. He's a character I actually like, but, you know, him and Lucas going odds ends, and I knew it was going to end with him going for the surgery. That was so obvious. It's just like, they had to have him be a knob about it and talk about his wife, of course, which, you know, I'm fine with, but it does feel like it is every single scene at this point. It's like, okay, yeah, can we do something more with White? If you can have him in storylines, have him be more, because it's kind of the same thing at the moment and it's a little bit bland. But yeah, very good episode. I'm going to give this one a 7.7 out of 10, just below an 8 for this one. I don't think it was quite great, but it had some really, really good storylines and a couple of weak ones in there. I do think Karen and Whitey kind of brought it down a little bit, but not too much. They were still watchable. They weren't like boring or anything. It's just they were the worst parts of the episode. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and thought the episode down below in the comments. And if you do want the early and uncut reactions to One Tree Hill, then link to the Patreon page will be in the description. And one of the comments down below where by the time this one's on YouTube, Patreon should be pretty much at the end of season 2. And I'll see you next time for episode 7. Until then, peace.